What's good, family? It is your boy Mom
and Sade, and we're back at it again with another video.
Oh Lord, today guys, I'm sorry.
Ain't no way you just interrupted my old like that.
I'm sorry. Today guys, we're finna react to the Polo G story documentary, man. Let's get into this, man.
You trifling. You really?
Because I straight?
Yes, you stretched in the middle of my O, and I was trying to hold it for a long time.
That deep, man. Let's get into this. This is going to be like the movies, ain't it? It is a true story.
Shots out the 8, boogie in the H, trying to get them bricks out the way. Them boys won't smoke on my block and get away with it. Them versus us, man, it ain't no match anyway. You know who's
real name?
Cavs in the 6.
What's his real name?
Before you go, us, man, it ain't no match.
Terry's Tremani
Bartlett. No, Bartlett.
Bartlett.
I don't know. I'm not gonna screw up nobody's name. It looked like Terry's.
That's Terry. Terry's.
Terry.
Tremani. I don't know. I'm just shut up.
Match anyway. You know who gonna lose like when the Cavs in the 6s play streets like mad. Before you go in, pick a plate. I ain't doing shit if it don't benefit my dinner plate.
I ain't doing nothing if it don't benefit my dinner plate.
Taurus Bartlett was born January 6, 1999 in Chicago, Illinois. Named after his father, Taurus Sr., his grandmother named him after the zodiac sign because she believed in everything a Taurus stood for. Raised in a rough neighborhood on the north side of Chicago.
Is a Taurus a goat?
We need to see that. We need to see.
Is a Taurus a goat? I'm sorry to be pausing this early, but is a Taurus a goat?
I don't know. Let me look it up real quick.
Because it will make sense then why he called himself the GOAT. If that's the case, if not, I understand why else he would call himself the GOAT. No.
Oh no, it say bull.
Oh.
It say it's a bull.
Or is that the Chinese zodiac sign? Oh, it's a bull.
Yeah, it's a bull.
Never mind.
Chicago, Marshall Field Apartments, or 1300 block, just a few blocks away from Cabrini Green, which was notoriously known as one of the roughest housing projects in American history.
I know the song in the background.
Growing up, music was always a gift his family possessed, with his mom and sister both being exceptional singers. Taurus knew one day he'd grow up to be something special, and used to dream about being a boxer, ball player, or rapper. Even at an early age, he knew formal education wouldn't be the path to achieving these dreams. His mom stated he would often question his teachers at school about how his homework was going to relate to the path he wanted to take in life. His mom was hoping he'd grow up to be a state's attorney, so she did her best to keep a close eye on him and make sure he stayed out of the streets. By the time he was attending George Muneer Middle School, he was already writing rhymes down in the notebook and freestyling during lunches. Rapping was just something he enjoyed doing at the time, and he didn't have any real way to record himself yet. By the age of 9, he had already written down a full-length song, complete with hooks and verses. Although he was in an area known for its violence, he managed to stay out of trouble pretty well all through his childhood, despite witnessing it firsthand. But it was almost inevitable that would change, and it eventually did by the time he was in high school. He started caring less about school and would either not show up or come in late. Getting into fights became a regular thing, and before he knew it, he had been kicked out of 2 different high schools and was attending his 3rd at Innovations High. This is around the time Lil Wayne's Carter 4 was released, and he started to feel extremely inspired by it. In addition, rappers from his neighborhood like Ricky Rax and Blockheads were doing decent numbers online, and he felt like he could really do it too. When he was just 15, one of his close friends nicknamed T. Gucci was killed, and it really affected him. He knew it was time for him to take music seriously if he was ever going to make it. He felt he had an obligation to himself, his friends, and everyone around him to tell their stories. The only issue he had was getting to the studio to record and having some money to pay for the time. Watching his parents struggle, he knew it was going to be up to him to make some money and make it happen, so he started hustling. By his senior year, he was struggling badly in school, but he told himself he had to try and graduate just to prove a point to anyone who doubted him. His English teacher even made him freestyle after class.
Anybody at least get through high school, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't go to college, but at least graduate high school.
Yeah.
In exchange for passing him. People from his school and neighborhood were also starting to take notice of his skill and ambition and encouraged him to start recording these freestyles.
So you feel me? She wouldn't let me go off and do all that. But when I got older, you feel me? It's like, I don't want to ask you for this. I see you struggling and you need help yourself, so I'm going to just help myself. And I was chasing the whole rap thing. Everybody wasn't into that. Like my OG and my daddy, they wasn't into that. So it was like I had to get the money myself and do it.
In October of 2016, he eventually got into studio after sneaking out of the house late at night. He recorded his first remix to 187, and then his first original song, ODA, which he had freestyled and wrote down years before. The songs were released under the name Polo G, aka Mr. Do Too Much. Polo was one of his favorite brands growing up, and the G stood for his friend T Gucci, who had passed. A month later, he got online and released ODA Part 2, followed by multiple other singles that he would drop throughout his senior year into 2017. A lot of his earlier music were remixes to other songs, but he knew if he was really gonna blow, he needed more original tracks, and more importantly, he needed to film music videos for them. He dropped his first official music
video. If you want to be a rapper, you really gotta be. It's like anything else, like YouTube, TikTok, internet. Yeah. It's consistency. You have to consistently drop music. You can't be a one, but every now and then you go find somebody who drop one music video and they just blow up. Everybody else, you gotta keep dropping music video, and at least try to go to somebody who has a platform that you could just ask them, hey man, how much you charge me to record my video?
Video with his two friends
in
2017 on the song Back That Ass.
Good.
This was the first time people outside of his hood would be able to put a face to his music. Almost immediately after, he filmed a second music video to a song called Check Me Out. But this one was unique because he actually filmed it before his senior prom. It was the first video to receive a few thousand plays on YouTube. At the time, that meant everything to him. After graduating high school, Polo started to head down a bumpy path. And although he avoided trouble, trouble started to catch up to him. On New Year's Day of 2018, Polo was part of a car theft that led police on a high-speed chase before crashing the car and being arrested. His life was starting to go down two very different paths. On one side, he was starting to gain a small following of fans with his songs like Troublesome. And on the other side, he was getting arrested for multiple crimes, spending time in and out of jail, and taking drugs like ecstasy and Xanax. At this point, his life could have gone in either direction. But in early 2018, he dropped Welcome Back, and with every new drop, he was getting a little more plays than the last. Everything changed in March of 2018 after dropping a remix to Lil Durk and G Herbo's Never Cared.
Yeah.
The remix blew up almost instantly, and it's easy to tell why if you listen to the first line of the song. This would be Polo's first song to ever receive over 1 million plays, and officially put his name in front of a whole new audience of people. All of Chicago was bumping his remix, and everything was starting to fall into place. He could start to see his dream unfolding in front of him.
When I was in the county, that was like my 5th, 6th time being locked up back to back. Even though it was petty stuff, it was like some sit-downs made me really think, and I had to learn, this ain't what I want to do because it could get worse.
And that's it's crazy that he figured it out young.
I was just gonna say that's good that he figured it out so young.
Like we talking like
yesterday.
Yesterday, some rappers don't figure it out till my mom said 30, 50.
Yep, they be old. Some of them don't even figure it out. Some of them be old as dirt and still out here doing the same dang on thing. So it's good that he figured it out young that that's not what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Fortunately, shortly after, he found himself incarcerated once again and was forced to spend a little time in Cook County Jail. While locked up, he started to really think about everything and the opportunity he was being given. He realized he needed to get out of the streets and really focus on music while he still had a buzz. He started writing down songs and planning out what he wanted to do when he was released so he could be prepared. Although he wrote down a number of songs, there was one he felt stood out from the rest. He was prepared to take a singing approach this time, as compared to his Chicago drill he had been focused on before. After being released, he linked up with his engineer, DJ Ayo, who was waiting for him to record. At the time, Polo didn't know DJ Ayo was also making beats. When he got to the studio and showed him what he had written down, he was surprised when Ayo started playing beats he felt fit the song. The two started constructing the song, but were unable to finish it that night because Polo was getting frustrated while singing for the first time. Polo went home with a copy of the instrumental and worked on it until he felt it was ready. He knew the song was going to be different, and he knew it was going to do numbers. After getting his flow down, he went back to the studio and recorded Finer Things.
It's hard to make peace once blood gets to spilling. Hey, Lil Whiskey get to shooting like he filming. Yeah, my friends died too, I know that feeling. I'm popping ecstasy to help me with the
what's crazy? I was listening to Polo around this time, and it don't seem like I was, but like when that song first came out, I said this man up next, and after that.
He just blew up.
That's crazy.
It be like that sometimes. It be like that. You be listening to a rapper before they even get to the point to where they are now. You know what I'm saying?
Just like y'all, I'm telling y'all now, So Fago is fun to blow.
The Finer Things music video dropped on August 25th, 2018, and his life changed forever.
I remember that.
Finer Things got over 245,000 views its first week and showed no signs of slowing down, as it was blowing up more every day that passed.
Okay.
This is also when he decided to simplify his name by taking the Mr. Do Too Much out and sticking to just Polo G. Just 2 years after recording his first songs, he was catching the attention of major labels and blogs were being written about him. Although multiple people were now trying to interview Polo, he chose to stay true to his city and did his first interview with legendary Chicago YouTube channel, Zach TV. Zach TV was known for interviewing Chicago artists from every neighborhood, but he had tragically died just a month before. Polo paid homage by being interviewed by Zach's brother, who was trying to keep his legacy alive to this day. Over the next couple months, Polo started getting booked for back-to-back shows and stopped dropping music as frequent as before. He knew with the attention he was now getting, everything he released needed to be up to par with the bar he had raised on himself.
Okay.
He was gaining thousands of new fans daily, and of course with new fans comes critics.
It's good, not just for rappers, but anything you do in life. It's good for you to think highly of yourself. It's good for you to have a high standard for yourself, because if you have a high standard, you're most likely gonna do better, because you're gonna try to perfect your craft. You're gonna try to make sure that everything you drop or everything that you put out is up to your standard. So it's good for you to be, anything you do, it's good for you to have a high standard for yourself that come with anything in life. I feel like it's good to have a high standard for yourself.
As well. Polo still needed to prove that he was here to stay, and he had made it this far without dropping a single mixtape or album.
Crazy.
This is the point that can make or break artists, and we've seen plenty come and go.
The last time I was incarcerated, it was like, that's when I first made the Finer Things track. When I took that different approach, I liked it that more than just being straight bar heavy. But you feel, I still be open to switching it up.
In late 2018, he started working on new music for an album, and shortly after he linked up with Lil TJ, a New York artist who was also starting to buzz. They recorded and dropped Pop Out, the first single off Polo G's upcoming debut album. Pop Out took off immediately. The song peaked at number 11 on the Billboard and shut down any thoughts of him being a one-hit wonder, spiraling his name into the mainstream. This was enough to trigger a bidding war between major labels. It was clear Polo G was going to be the next...
Is that the baby shirt?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm tripping.
I don't know. That's what his shirt look like.
Something
that's what
like
his
that.
Look like.
Something like that.
Might
I don't
be,
think
I
that's
don't
him,
know.
but it looked like it.
Next big thing out of Chicago, and everyone wanted a piece. He and his team eventually chose to sign with Columbia Records, and on June 6, 2019, his debut album, Die a Legend, was released on all platforms. The cover art featured 8 of Polo's family and friends who had passed. In honor of them, he accomplished exactly what he set out to do 2 years prior: tell their stories, memories, and legacy in his raps with no filter.
And that made me want to rap. I gotta speak up on this situation, because I ain't only just speaking for me or telling my story. I'm telling his story. I'm telling his story. I'm telling his story. Telling everybody out his story. So you feel, that's the only way I can get that message across, so we could be heard.
Through 2019 leading up to 2020, Polo G remained a topic of conversation in mainstream rap, despite also dealing with personal issues like his addiction to prescription pills, which led to a near-death experience in late 2019. It motivated him to stay sober, and he started off 2020 strong with yet another hit song, Go Stupid, after linking up with Stunner for Vegas and Emily Chapa. Shortly after, his second studio album, The GOAT, was released, which peaked at number 2, selling 99,000 copies its first week.
It's crazy.
This also solidified his well-deserved spot on the 2020 XXL front.
Out of all these people right here, the ones who are still around is Polo G, NLE, 24K Golden. You know him. He got a couple songs.
Yeah.
But you don't just like know it, but you gotta hear it. 5 years. Them the only... Well, no.
Who is that at the top? Stunner?
Him? That's the dude that made that one song everybody know. Is anything... Man,
Pray to Lord, my soul to keep.
What you thinking?
Okay.
Whatever his name, I think that's him.
List. In just a few years, Polo G went from hustling on the block for studio money to selling out arenas and having both his albums go platinum. He's arguably been the most consistent young rapper to come up recently, and he's done more than prove he's here to stay.
Yeah, he has.
No. Shout out to Polo.
I was just about to say though, you can tell the work ethic in some people, and I'm not saying all rappers don't have it, but Polo is one of those rappers who just has it. Like, he has that work ethic. Like, I think he I think he's scared to go back to his old life. I think he's, you know how some of them like talk about being scared, but I think Polo is truly scared to be in the place that he was as a child. So I feel like he gonna do anything that he can do to not get back to that place.
And he ain't doing it, going up each year. Every year he going further and further and further up. Pretty soon the man gonna be on up there with Drake.
And then, like I said, I feel like he put a lot of effort into his songs. Like I feel he probably one of those people that critique himself. He probably have a whole bunch of songs in the stash, but he probably be like, no, I don't feel like this good enough. I don't feel like this is good enough for me to give to my fans. Or I don't feel like this is a good enough story for me to tell. I feel like I need to get more in depth. He's probably one of those people.
Yeah, you know, a lot of rappers don't like particularly care what they drop. They just
I was finna say some
like
of them,
whatever.
And then some of them it comes so effortlessly. Like some of them they don't even have to try hard. They just kind of just put it out. It just kind of flow. Which I'm not saying that's not Polo, but I'm just saying some of them you have in anything you do, you're gonna have somebody that work harder than the next. That's in school, that's in a corporate job, that's in a regular job, that's in anything you do in life. You always gonna have the harder workers.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Man, but other than that, man, y'all already know what to do, man. Please
like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, subscribe to all three channels.
follow me and Shawty both on Instagram. If y'all want to see another documentary, y'all just let us know. We'll do it. But other than that, man, we out of here.